All right, let's dive into a story that feels like something straight out of an old fable. But really, it's a fantastic lesson in business, honesty, and greed, all wrapped up in a simple, steaming plate of biryani. So, this is the question that starts it all. Can you actually get a full plate of biryani for just 10 rupees? I mean, it sounds way too good to be true, right? Well, as we're about to find out, the answer really depends on who you're buying it from. Okay, so picture this, a super busy village packed with people. And right in the middle of it all, we've got two food stalls that could not be more different. This is where we meet our first character, a vendor with a very clever and very shady business plan. So you've got this guy, Mangru. He sets up a stall with this huge, eye-catching sign, Biryani, 10 rupees. And of course, people are flocking to him. I mean, who wouldn't? A full plate of delicious biryani for that price, it's an absolute steal, and his business is just exploding. And there it is, the catch. After everyone's happily finished their meal, Mangru hits them with the real price. When they argue, he just smirks and points to the sign. See, the plate is 10 rupees. The biryani on the plate, that'll be another 50. Total, 60. It's the oldest trick in the book, a classic bait and switch. He's not building a business, he's running a one-time scam on every customer. So this really breaks it down, doesn't it? On one side, you have Mangu's whole deceptive model, designed to squeeze every last rupee out of a single sale. And on the other side, you have this simple, honest promise, a 10-rupee meal. No tricks, no fine print. This is the whole conflict of our story right here. But this is where things get really interesting. Because a terrible accident is about to bring a new player into the game, someone who's going to choose that second path, the path of honesty. And that is going to set up a huge showdown with Mangru's greed. So let me tell you about Mahesh. He's this really good, hardworking guy. But one day, disaster strikes. He has a horrible accident at work and breaks his leg. The doctor tells him he's out of commission for 3 months. And just like that, his family is in huge trouble. No income, no money for food, and certainly no money for medical bills. This is where Nandini, Mahesh's wife, really steps up. She's desperate, but then she remembers how her husband always told her how amazing her homemade biryani was. And that's it. That's her light bulb moment. She decides she's gonna fight back. She's gonna start her own food stall and sell an actually honest plate of biryani for just 10 rupees. The real deal. And you know what? It works. Big time. People start coming to her stall and they realize her biryani is not only delicious, way better than Mangru's in fact, it's also genuinely affordable. But then something kind of magical starts happening. No matter how many people she serves, day after day, the biryani in her pot never, ever runs out. It's like her honesty is being rewarded. Well, as you can probably guess, Nandini's booming business and her seemingly bottomless pot of biryani do not go unnoticed. She's not just selling food, she's selling integrity. And that makes her a huge threat to a guy like Mangru. And when you can't compete fairly, what do? You sabotage. Oh, Mangru is just fuming. He's watching his own stall sit empty while there's a huge line of happy, loyal customers at Nandini's. He just can't wrap his head around how she's making it work. And that jealousy quickly turns into a really nasty plan. I mean, this is what happens when your business model is broken, right? Instead of getting better, you just try to tear the competition down. And here's how low he sinks. An old woman falls down near Nandini's stall. Nandini, being the good person she is, immediately rushes over to help, leaving her pot unwatched for just a second. And that's his moment. Mangru sneaks over, pulls out this little box, and dumps the whole thing right into her biryani. He poisons her food, the very thing that was saving her family. The result is immediate, and it is awful. 12 people who just ate Nandini's biryani suddenly get violently ill, collapsing in pain. And guess who's right there, ready to stir the pot? Mangru, of course. He's the first one to start yelling, pointing the finger at Nandini, spreading lies. "It was her cheap biryani," he shouts. The crowd, terrified and sick, they believe him. They turn into this angry mob, and they drag a horrified Nandini to the king's court to be punished. So this is it. This is her lowest point. Betrayed, framed, and hated by the same people she was trying to help. It seems like it's all over for her. But just when all hope seems lost, something completely unbelievable is about to happen in that courtroom. So they're in front of the king. Mangru brings up his star witness. The guy points right at Nandini and confidently tells the king, she did it. Her biryani poisoned all of us. Mangru is probably sitting there thinking, I've got this in the bag.
But then, the king asks the man to identify the person responsible, and the witness turns and points straight at a shocked Mangru. Everyone's just jaws on the floor. The man doesn't waver. He says, "No, Your Majesty, his biryani made us sick, not hers." Mangru is totally speechless. What is going on?
And it's not just him. It is a complete, mind-boggling reversal. The king calls up every single one of the other accusers, and one by one, they all do the exact same thing. Every single person who came to condemn Nandini ends up pointing the finger right back at Mangru, calling him a fraud. The entire case just crumbles.
So, just like that, the tables have completely turned. Mangru is hauled off to jail and Nandini is cleared. And in this final chapter, we finally get the big reveal, the secret behind the courtroom miracle and the ultimate lesson of this whole story.
So Mangru's sitting in his cell, probably wondering what on earth just happened. And guess who shows up? That same old man from the village? He reveals that he's actually a divine messenger. He basically tells Mangru, look, there are bigger forces at play here. When you do good for others, you're protected. Nandini was saved by her own kindness. I was just the one sent to make sure justice was done.
So let's look at the final scorecard here. Mangru's lies and deceit get him a month in jail. Meanwhile, Nandini's honest business is now more successful than ever. And with the profits, she's able to get Mahesh the best treatment, and he makes a full recovery. Her good business practices literally saved her family.
And their story comes full circle. They go from that humble little street stall to opening their very own proper shop, and they're still selling that famous and now legendary 10-rupee biryani, a symbol of a business that was built to last because it was built on trust.
And that's where this story leaves us. It's got that touch of magic, for sure, but the lesson is very real. And it makes you wonder, in our world today, a world that's a lot more complicated than this little village, does honesty always win? Maybe not immediately. We see shady businesses get ahead all the time. But this story suggests that in the long run, integrity is the only sustainable business model. It's the ingredient that really matters. It's a compelling thought to chew on. Thanks for watching.